Hello YouTube, Dave here again, and today I'm going to be unboxing the 2006 D&D 3.5 basic game. So, if you've been following this channel for any length of time, you would know that this was one of the 3.5 box sets that I ended up passing on way back in the day. There was this, and then there was the Player's Kit. The Player's Kit was essentially just a box set that had a soft-covered player's handbook, along with a set of dice and some pamphlets for some of the different character classes. I don't know if it was one for every class, or it was just sort of like the iconic 4 classes. But those were things that I kind of passed on back in the day. I do have the 2004 basic game, which I've actually done some videos on, including a Starter Set Saturdays video. And I will just apologize up front if I sound a little off. It's because if you didn't see the 3.0 starter set video I just recently did, comparing the big box to the small box, I have suffered a knee injury. It's called a tibial plateau fracture from slipping and falling on ice and kind of twisting and wrenching as I went down. So I'm not 100% right now. But I do want to get some videos out before the holidays, and we'll try to get some stuff recorded when I get back. I want to get back to trying to upload some stuff here. But back in the day, I ended up passing on this particular box set. I had the chance to buy it, and I just kind of was like, no, I'm okay. And it was one of the few things that, like, I actually maintained that level of sort of ambivalence. I don't know if that's the right word. But conviction, I guess, because like I said the same thing about the 3.5 books, like, no, I'm good, I'm not going to buy those. And that lasted as long until I saw them actually in person. But I mean, this box set, I'd seen it in my local game store, and I just still never ended up picking it up. Same thing with the Player's Kit, which I do regret to this day. Like, I really wish I bought both of those back at the time. But we can at least remedy one of these issues. So I saw this online, and, I don't do a lot of things online, but it's becoming increasingly harder to find, like, the few things that I'm looking for from that era. It's really difficult to find those things in the wild. And I've never seen, in my area, I've never seen one of these box sets ever come back up for availability. So I went online. This was an incredibly good price for what the modern market is and for what the contents inside are. So we'll do the unboxing here in a moment, but we'll take a look here, and what we do see on the cover is we got a really cool image of Regdar fighting a blue dragon. In the first box set, it was Regdar fighting a black dragon. Now, black dragons are my favorite. Hands down, they are my favorite dragon type out there. I love the 3rd edition era design of the Black Dragons, and even the new 2024 like redesign for the Black Dragons in 5e I really love. I like the Pathfinder Black Dragons as well. Like, I thought those were really cool looking. But the Blue Dragon was always kind of like lower down on my list of dragon designs. Like, for me, it was the Black Dragon, and then I think it was the Red Dragon, the White Dragon, the Green Dragon, and I think the Blue Dragon was actually my least favorite of them all. It might stem from like the 2nd edition Monstrous Manual art, where he just kind of looked pudgy with the little tiny horn on his nose. I mean, I don't know. Like, but the 3rd edition era Blue Dragons look awesome. Like, I will say, I have the Gargantuan one. It's a really cool looking dragon, but it was just never my favorite. So it was one of the reasons why I didn't bother, because I bought the first set purely for the minis. So, and I just wasn't particularly interested in this one. And for another kind of reason as well that we'll take a look at here in a moment. But we do have the artwork here. It says it does include a blue dragon. This includes 12 miniatures, where the previous set also included 16 miniatures. So we lost 4 minis in the process. And then on the back here, you can see that this was a $24.95 is what this would have been selling for back in the day. If you're not sure, a lot of these, like barcodes, if they have the smaller one off to the side, you ignore the first number, and the last 4 numbers are usually, not always, I guess, but they are usually the U.S. manufacturer suggested retail price. And that sounds about fair. They were about $10 more Canadian, so I think they worked out to about $40, $45 Canadian with taxes included. rounded up to the nearest dollar type of thing. So anyway, we got here on the back. Now, unlike the other one as well, like the 2004 version, you had like the kids playing the game, you know, on the back of the box, like it was like the back of like that, you know, 80s Nintendo action set where they were all huddled around the TV. That was kind of the vibes I always got from that one. This one here, you just show like one of the tiles here and a little description of the characters, or at least for some reason for 3 of the 4 characters, and they don't describe the wizard at all. I don't know why. I do not know why. The other thing that I will say that kind of bugged me about this set versus the 2004, I keep wanting to say the 2004, but that sounds weird. And I'm used to saying like 2025 or 2024. Anyway, so the 2004 version, all of the characters were iconic Player's Handbook characters. So you had Regdar the Fighter, for example. So if you went to the fighter section in the 3.5 Player's Handbook, there was a picture of Regdar there. The cleric was Eberk, the dwarf cleric, and if you went to the cleric, there were 2 different ones there for the cleric and the fighter. But you had Eberk, who was this dwarven cleric, and you had Jozan, who was the human cleric. The 3.0 set had Jozan, the 3.5 set had Eberk. So you had these like iconic characters, and Regdar is the only iconic character returning from like the Player's Handbook. The other 3 characters were just like uncommon minis at the time, so they weren't like player characters at all. This was like the dwarf cleric. That was the I forget, like moon elf or sun elf, wizard maybe, and this one I can't remember what they were called either. Anyway, but they weren't like the actual, like, it would have been awesome if I could have had Sovalis, who was the iconic ranger, right? Because I don't have that many. You know, they could have had Jozan, they could have had Miley, or they could have had in the 3.0 set they had a human wizard called Niall, and it would have been cool to have like a mini for her. But they just kind of repurposed some of these other ones. It's fine, but it just, like, at the time, it never really kind of captured my imagination. But years later, it's like, I still wish I would have bought that set regardless. And here we have it. So, like I said, this was, you know, it was a pretty good price online for what it is. And I've seen far worse versions of this box be sold or listed for way more than what the person was charging for this one. So the person that I bought this from sold it at a, you know, it's still more than I would normally have wanted to pay for it. But compared to other sites, compared to other listings, even with shipping, this was like a no-brainer. So, and the reason for that is if we take a look and we open up the box, everything is still in its original plastic baggies. So, like, it's just really crazy that this, like, 19-year-old box set, and it was open because it was, you know, it would have been wrapped in plastic back in the day. But the fact that, like, somebody opened this and never took out a single mini, you know, never took out the dice. The dice are, like, bloated. And this is what I, like, and this is where, like, the dice would normally come in, were these, like, sealed up plastic bags that I had to rip open. The last video that I did for the 3.0 big box starter set had them in a Ziploc bag, which was far nicer. But anyway, it's still really cool to see, like, these are all sealed up. Like, that just absolutely blows me away because, like, none of the ones that I've ever seen, unless they were, like, fully sealed, and going for, like, $300 to $400, Canadian, I should say, online. Like, this was just really incredible. So we got our dice set here. And we'll go through some of the minis. We'll look at the hero characters last, and the dragon last. The dragon needs a little work, but actually I think it's kind of neat the way that it ended up. But I mean, again, these are sort of like common or uncommon minis from back in the day. So we do have, instead of the kobolds that we had in the first one, we got like a goblin here, and they do all say, I don't know how well it's going to show up, but the D&D basic game 2006 Wizards. So we have a goblin with a shield and a little mace there. And then we also have one of the goblins with a crossbow. So we got the 2 goblins. We've got our leaning skeleton. So we got that guy. We have our orc mauler. Yeah, he's still called the Orc Mauler. So this guy, there was a D&D mini set that came out where each starter set included this guy and an elf ranger, and they were both meant to be like the commanders of their armies, and you could use the other minis in the starter set to fill out the rest of them, but they always had like the mauler and the ranger. So I got a ton of these guys, so this guy's just gonna, again, they're all gonna stay sealed. But we've got him, we got a gargoyle, and we actually got the original style gargoyle. There was an earth element gargoyle that was released later on that looks way cooler than this one, but still, it's a gargoyle mini. We also have a harpy with her Vegeta hair. I think it's supposed to like simulate that she's landing, like she's just swooped down and like her hair is still like blowing in the wind behind her, but I don't know, kind of a weird sculpt. But then we actually got something that's really cool, because I don't have very many of these, but we got a young Minotaur. And I have like no Minotaur minis. Like I bought an overpriced set of the classic D&D minis, not just for the Minotaur, but the fact that the Minotaur was in there was one of the things that I really liked about it. So again, you know, pretty basic paint jobs here. We're not going to be winning any awards with these things. But then we'll take a look at the player characters. So the first one that we have here is, if I can read the name, this is Karn, and he is a human rogue. So we got the rogue, then we've got Dorthel, and he is the dwarven cleric. And later on, I will do a video comparing the paint jobs in the starter set. I'm not going to be taking them out of their bags or anything, like they're going to stay sealed. But I will do a video comparing the characters in the bags to the ones from like the regular mini set that you could pull. Because they are, I think they're slightly different paint jobs. I'm not so sure about the Karn the Rogue. I think this guy looks a little different. The one that is a completely different paint job is this character here, who doesn't even get mentioned on the back of the box for whatever reason. But this is Lannan, and she is the elf wizard. And the regular version of this mini, the character has like a pink dress, and I think that's the only difference. So they give her a blue instead of pink. And then we got, of course, good old Regdar here. And then we've got our blue dragon. Now this blue dragon mini, the wing got kind of folded under itself, or folded down. It's supposed to be up like this, but it wants to curl back down because it's been probably in that position for, the better part of, you know, well, I don't know. I don't know exactly when. But something tells me that was like that all along. But it kind of folded down actually does look kind of neat. I wish the other one had similarly done that. But we got our blue dragon. And it's got a little bit of metallic blue on the chin and stuff there. So those are our minis and our dice. But we've also got our read this first. And this is probably the thing in this box that's in the worst condition, only because it's got a slight curl to it, which I'm not super worried about. That's the kind of thing that you can fix. What I might do is actually just put this like this and have everything just pressed against it. But yeah, so it says read this first, so it talks about the setup. Oh, this actually puts you through a little encounter, does it? One player decides to play the Dungeon Master and selects the Dungeon Master book. Up to 4 other players select each one of the character books. The fighter, rogue, cleric, and wizard. These characters form the adventuring party. Place the dungeon tile labeled 1A on the center of the table. Place the dice in easy reach of all players. Place all 4 characters according to the diagram. Okay, and then place 2 door counters on the squares on the dungeon tile as shown. Use the counters that say door on the back. Put the other tiles, the advanced rulebook, and the other miniature figures back in the box. You won't need them yet. Give the box to the Dungeon Master. Each player should read through his or her character book while the Dungeon Master reviews the quick play and first encounter sections Okay, so that's kind of neat. And the one thing I will say, presentation-wise, that I really like about this set compared to the 2004 version, I think it's going to be these little booklets. So we got the Dungeon Master book here, which is actually pretty thick. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But we've got our characters here, and their stats are on the back of the booklet. Boy, initiative of 3. I don't think the numbers must not get too high, do they? 1, okay. It's kind of turn order. All right, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, all right. But yeah, it's really neat because like whoever wants to play, like you, instead of getting just like the regular sheet, you do get this booklet. It tells you that you are the fighter, sort of describes what the fighter is. This book tells you how to play your character. So it goes through the different actions, the different dice, who goes first. Oh, the monsters always go 5th. That is interesting. I don't know if the 2004 version was like that, or if they just had like a set initiative number, and whoever had like the the highest number would go first. But it gives you like all the things that you can do, kind of how to do them, and then on the back you got your character sheet. So we have that for all 4 of our characters. There we got our cleric here. All right, so we got all the cleric information. So again, pretty standard stuff. Actually, I guess this is pretty much just regular things. But then we got the spells, and it has like the different what the spells are that the character has. So that's pretty cool. We would have the same thing, obviously, for the wizard character. Right, it's got her books or her spells there, and then we got the rogue character book. And the rogue has all their different skills there. So that's pretty cool. And then we got the Dungeon Master's book, which I think has the entire, or pretty much the entire scenario in here. We got like the basic rules descriptions to get you started. And then it has the setup for the first dungeon, what the doors are. So there's double doors. So, okay, thick pages. And then you've got the goblins. Wait, does it show where the goblins are? Oh, yeah, Goblin Archer, Goblin Warrior. Okay, they have those there. And it just kind of goes through the encounters, right? Up to, I think, does it have the... it might not have the blue dragon fight. Oh, no. Wait, Goblin. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it has the final battle with the blue dragon. I think that's the one thing that's not in here, but that would be in the advanced rulebook. And the advanced rulebook also has the level 2 versions of each of the characters in there as well, that you can like photocopy. So that's pretty cool. And then we got the final area against the blue dragon in the final, in the advanced rule booklet. And then it directs you to like the player's kit, as well as the 3 different core books and the D&D minis packs. The one thing I will say also that I like about this is that it doesn't have like a black and white cover with a full color inner cover like the 2004 version did for whatever reason. So this is all black and white, and these are all full color, which is nice to see. And then we've got our dungeon tiles here. So I got 4 different double-sided tiles. And these would have been made using like the tile sets that they would have sold back in the day as well. Oh, there's our 1A and 1B. And then the last thing that we have in here are just some punch-out tokens, again, which have not been punched out. I'm not going to take it out of the box. I'm a little worried about it. Like them falling out, just because that happens with some of these punched-out cards tokens. But really, really cool to see. Absolutely love this. So, yeah, just really, really fantastic addition for everything that was included in this box set. And again, the price was like a third or fourth. It was more than I would have liked to have paid, but it was far less than what I've seen other sets of this box set go for in far worse shape. Like some of them are like missing dice or missing, some of the minis, or, missing some of the character books, or the box is falling apart. And it's still selling for like 2 or 3 times what this one went for. So overall, I'm not going to complain about that. We got everything still sealed in their original bags. They are all stamped. And then my dog saw something. All right, I think he's over it now. But anyway, to have everything in this condition, to have these dice... Oh, I'm just going to let them go. And what's actually kind of neat about this as well... what's kind of neat about this as well is that this dice set is the same one that was used in the 4th edition starter set. So if I do a video with the 4E starter set, I can pull the dice out of this box and put it in there for the purpose of like doing unboxings and talking about what was included in there when it was initially released. So really, really cool stuff. A fantastic deal for something that was missing from my collection. And with this being added... I currently have all of the D20 era starter sets in my collection now, so I think at some point in the new year, probably when I can start walking without crutches again, I will be doing a personal ranking video of all of the D20 era starter sets. They're not going to be necessarily spoilers for the starter set Saturdays, because my own personal... Like, I might be a lot more biased in my own personal ranking list than I would be when I'm trying to do, like, a review with numerical scores and different categories and such. But yeah, I think I'll be doing one of those videos ranking all of them at some point in the near future. But yeah, awesome stuff. I'm really glad to finally have this in my collection. And at one point, if I can find a decently priced player's kit, then I might go for that as well. But there's no minis in that. There's no adventure or anything in that. It's literally just a softcover player's handbook with some booklets for the different classes, maybe some character sheets and a set of dice. Like, it's not an adventure. It's not a starter set. It was just something for, like, to give to players, to give them everything that they needed, rather than just, like, a copy of the book. You get, like, the sheets and the breakdowns and stuff like that. So if I can find one for a good price, then I'll definitely look into it. But it's not... If I never get one, I'll still be okay. I'll still consider my 3.5 collection to be relatively complete at this point. So anyway, let me know in the comments below. Did you have the 2004 or 2006 basic games? Did you have both? Did you get a chance to run them? How was the adventure? I haven't even really looked at that yet. For the purpose, I just got this, and again, it's kind of hard to do most things. Like, it's hard to move around a lot, so, we'll get to it probably sometime in the new year. But let me know what your thoughts were on the adventure included inside here. So, I just want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. It really means a lot to me. And we will see you in the next one. Until then, take care.